Okay, so for the first 3 waves, what you want to do is you want to go to the bottom of the slope like this, so the beefy won't be able to reach you or hit you. So there are 2 main methods for killing the beefy, at the bottom of the slope right there. Now, the first method is just spamming heavy attack on the beefy, and that's the simplest and easiest way to do it, but it's also quite slow compared to the second method, which is using the XXXY combo, but doing it in a certain way. So you miss the first X, so the beefy's hit counter doesn't get raised, so he doesn't hit you back after you do it a certain amount of times. So you just keep repeating the heavy attack like that until he's dead. But something to keep in mind is that the other stove faces, they sometimes they run straight into you and get in the way. Now, you can either just throw them away or just position yourself so they won't attack you anymore, like what I did. You'll see. Okay, now that the beefy's dead, it's the other 2 normal guys are left. So what you do is you just do the XXXYY combo, otherwise known as the drill combo, and you just keep repeating it on them until they're dead. Now what I do is I go on the flat piece of ground to the right, and I find who the guy who shoots the arrow is. Only one of them shoots the arrow, and then I target him. Now, if you target him, the other guy, he usually just walks right into you. So then you have both of the guys grouped up, and you just keep repeating it. Now, sometimes they'll just run away or come back to roll, and they'll attack you. Just don't worry about that. Just there's nothing much you can really do about it. So now on the next wave, I'm going to showcase the second method for killing the beefy when you're at the bottom of the slope. Now, what's different about this method is that it's a lot faster, and it also works for multiple people. The other one with spamming the heavy attack, that doesn't work if you have more than one person doing it, because the beefy will reach his hit counter and he'll attack back. So that's not safe. But this one, you can have multiple people doing it and it'll work out, but it's often difficult to do it, be coordinated, because if one guy messes it up too much, then everyone gets hit for it. Anyways. Okay, so what I just did might be a little hard to understand at first glance, so I'm going to break it down of what you need to do for that to work out. So first, you need to be facing away from the beefy, so in this case it's left. Then you need to do the first X, but when you do the second X, you turn around. Then you do the third X and then the Y, but then while you're still in the attack animation for the Y attack, you turn left. So after you've done that, you're already set up for repeating the combo over and over, and you just keep repeating the combo until the beefy's dead, but the beefy will never fall down if you keep repeating the combo. So when you feel like he's dead, you just knock him over, and if he fades away, he's dead. Now, if my explanations aren't good enough, you can just look at my timing, and you just try to do my timings, and eventually you'll get it. now we're at the ladder part. So now the first method I'll be showing for the ladder part is a simple and easy way to do it, but also not painfully slow. So I think this method is pretty self-explanatory. You just go to the top of the level, and then you wait for all for them to congregate, and then you run diagonally down the ladder, and then while they're all on the ladder, you just do the XXXYY combo, and then you run down the other ladder, and then you do it again, and then you might jump up the ladders, and then you just repeat it. Okay, so now it's time for the second method, which is much more complicated than the first one, but it's more effective and it's also the optimal strategy to use in multiplayer. So you're probably wondering what sort of black magic I just did right there, but I'll explain all the steps of that just like I did for the second method of the beefy combo. So the first step is to get on the ladder, then get hit off of it. Okay, now it's time for the complicated part. So what you do is after your character starts falling down after getting hit, you hold the A button, and that'll cause you to do a recovery jump. And right after you do the recovery jump, you do the XYY fly combo, and you just keep repeating it. Okay, something worth noting here is that your fingers are probably going to get tired from repeating the XYY combo so many times, but if you do the XYY combo but just do nothing after that, you'll stay in the floaty state where that allows you to do this. So you can just stop and continue whenever you want. And in order to get out of the floaty state, you just press X once and that'll cause you to get out of it. Now for the second wave What you do is you go up the second ladder to spawn the second wave of enemies, but then you go back to the first ladder because the first ladder is better for doing this. Okay, something that you don't need to do but makes this process faster is that if you do the XYX, it'll make your character go a little bit higher. And if you do that, it'll allow you to XXYY the Eskimos while you're in this state. That's just something cool worth noting. Now, that's it for the second method for the ladder waves, but in case you're wondering what I meant by this method being the best one for multiplayer, I'll just show you a clip of what it looks like when you get 4 people to do it at the same time, and it's actually kind of dumb how good it is. Okay, now it's time for the third and the most complex method, but also the most efficient method for the ladder waves. So once again, I'm going to explain what I did step by step so you can replicate what I did. The first step is to go where I am on the ladder and wait for all the enemies to spawn. I hopped off, but then went back on the ladder to make all the enemies group up below me. But anyways, now it's time for the really complicated part. So what you do is you go up to hop off the ladder, but then you go left, and then you go down. So now you're left of the ladder. But then you go right. So you're on top of the ladder, and now you're lined up. And what you do is then you use the splash attack, and then after you use the splash attack, no, while you're still doing the splash attack animation, you hold down and X. And then once you've done that, it'll be in a floaty state. And then right after that, you do YY, and then you just keep doing the XYY fly combo after that. Now, once again, if my explanations aren't good enough, you can just study my timings and just try to do what I do. And again, eventually you'll just get it. Trust me. Once you get it, you got it. Now, for the second wave, once again, you just spawn the second wave of enemies by going up the second ladder, but then you go back down, and then you go back to the first ladder and just keep doing the same thing as you did for the first wave. But what I like to do is I like to kill the 3 Eskimos that come out, so one more stove face spawns, so it'll take less time. Now, once you've reached the point past the ladder waves, you're pretty much done with the level. But I'll show the last wave, which is just two Eskimos and a stove face. It should be trivial, but I do show a technique where you can kill the one stove face quick with the arrow and the slope. Now, that's the end of the guide. I showcased everything that I think is useful to most groups of people, and I didn't include basic stuff like spamming splash magic and arrows because that's really inefficient and dumb. But I sincerely hope this video helped you because I'm tired of playing with people, no matter how good or how bad, that have no idea what they're doing in full moon. Okay, bye.